So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Netflix Kingdom Spoiler Pack Megatron. Yes, I just got this today. Here's the box. You can't even fit it. It's massive. The box is good. It's kind of like an ammo box, though, which is really cool. But other than that, it's a box. Who cares about a box? And today we're taking a look at my long-awaited friend, Megs. Oh, I've wanted a Megatron for so long. I have not had one in years. And this is your generic G1-ish Megatron. He's not close to the other one, though. The Earthrise one, I really didn't want. Not at all. I wanted the Siege mold because of the sword. So basically, not for the sword itself, but more for the fact of how it works with the tank mode. Yes, he's a tank, not a jet, not a car, not a space thingamadoo, not a weird helicopter thing. No, he's a tank, which is his normal alt mode nowadays. As far as this figure goes, he does look phenomenal. He looks great. He does have a bit of kibble on the back, if you want to consider it that. I don't wanna. I like the look of the tank treads back there. It makes it look like he turns into something, which is great. He has his fusion cannon with some paint on it. Very nice. Figure's quite well painted. It has a lot of this nice silver metallic all over it. Does have some splats on the crotch, which is I don't that's the worst part of the figure easily right there. But other than that, the other bits of paint I'm completely fine with. The color they put him in was kind of like kind of brownish gray, and then they painted him mostly silver, and it still looks phenomenal. No matter which way you slice it, it just looks great. I mean, as far as he goes, he looks great. He comes with a few accessories, one of which, like I mentioned, being the sword that he's currently holding, which is the tank turret. This thing is large, by the way. This is a large sword. That's how far it comes up on him. That is a large weapon. Like, it's way larger than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot bigger. I did not think it would be this big. When I got out of the box, I was like, whoa. So that's his sword. If you don't like said sword, you can store it if you'd like. Yay. Other than that, he also comes with his fusion cannon, which is, this is going to be one of the few times I ever disconnect the fusion cannon, because, yeah, it's a permanent fixture. Like I said, it has a bit of this paint on it. It's a bit of silver paint. Looks pretty alright. I kind of wish it was all black, but it's fine with a bit of silver. I'm good with it, like I mentioned. And that's not it for accessories, because he also comes with two blast effects, which can be pinned on anywhere, if you'd like. I don't think they necessarily go anywhere. In particular, you can pin one there. You can pin the other one there as well. They're nice. He also comes with, I believe, is the Allspark or the Key to Vector Sigma. I'm not sure which item. It's a MacGuffin item. And he can't hold it, except for on his peg. Yay. Someone can hold it, though, which is Prime. Prime can definitely hold it, because he has open and closey hands. Seems like he could definitely just slot it in his thumb. Yeah, see? Prime can hold that bad boy just right. See? Prime works. Nice. Nice use. Speaking of Prime, he comes with one last accessory, which is this awesome little matrix of leadership on a chain. It's fairly well painted, and I actually really do like the paint. I kind of like this version of it a bit more than the one that comes with Earthrise Prime. His is just like a translucent blue thing painted. It does look nice, don't get me wrong, but I do like this painted version a lot more. And it does go onto him, so you just kind of have to take it, and it slots in 4 spots. So one is there, the other one is right here. That one goes there. Kind of have to lift his arm out of the way, and it slots in under the chest piece, and do the same thing on the other side, if you can get it in to the slots. That one does not want to go in for some reason. There we go. Should be good now. So there is Megs with his Matrix chain. It looks goofy. It is goofy, and I'm not a big fan of it myself. And how many of these are getting stored in the trailer? All of them except the sword. That's it. But he does come with one extra accessory. Another figure. Yeah, so the figure included is named Skelivore. That's an unfortunate name. I'm going to name him what I'm pretty sure the intended name was, which was Skeletor. Why? Because I'm not mistaken, there's not really a lot of spoilerishness to this pack. We knew Megatron was in it. I'm pretty sure this was in the promotional stuff, and I'm pretty sure he got it at the end of Earthrise, so why say spoiler for a Megatron when you can have just this guy here? And Skelivore, who I'm just going to name Skeletor from now on, is a repaint, I guess, of Paleotrex, who I have right here as well. So there is Paleotrex. And yeah, they're the same figure. There's nothing really wrong here. If you like Paleotrex, you're going to like this one. I mean, I like Paleotrex, but did I really care to get the purple one? I mean, not really. I really only paid $103. Yes, that's how much I paid Canadian for that bad boy. For Megatron. I didn't care for this, and I don't really think I do still. It's a fine enough figure, and it looks nice, and it can split. It also has one accessory, which is the awesome little knife it comes with, which definitely isn't the tip of a tail or anything. Ta-da! And that just stores behind his arm here on the shoulder pad. But before we do anything, I guess we should just look at him. I mean, he looks nice. That face looks really nice. It's all picked out in paint, and if you close down that, it looks kind of cooler than Paleotrex's because it's translucent and they actually painted the teeth and everything. So I kind of like the battle mask a lot more than Paleotrex's version, but I am a lot more worried because he's translucent plastic. And I mean translucent plastic. He is made of this stuff. Completely made of it. There's parts, like his hands and like... Most of the joints are not translucent plastic. Mind you, that like pegged together and everything, they're not translucent plastic. Everything else is though. And I do like the bits of silver throughout this figure. I think it looks really nice on the shoulders especially. And they picked out the teeth on the Dino mode and everything. It does look nice. I mean, the figure's still nice, and I still like Paleotrex, but my favorite part of the detailing they've done for him is on the little chest piece, which just looks great. I love the look of that. I think it looks awesome. Other than that, that's Skeletor, Skelivore, whatever you want to call him. I'm calling him Skeletor from here on out. He'll never be known as Skelivore again. So, that's Megatron. So let's get into the articulation section. I guess, even though we took him off screen. He'll be back for the articulation. Don't worry. Ball joint in the head for Megs. Pretty good range. Forward and back of the shoulders. Outward. An elbow. A swivel. He does have a waist. Forward and back, outward, swivel, knee joint, and a tilt. Kind of an odd tilt. It kind of works on this little gray part. And that's the articulation for Megs, which is your standard Siege and everything articulation. We then have our articulation for Skeletor. And Skeletor's articulation is, you know, it's fine. I kind of hate this. Okay, it does move. Oh, there goes his waist, which is the actual only bit of translucent plastic, I guess. Connection. So I'm trying to get that out because that was really tough to get out. So he does have a rotating head because, yeah, clearly that's a severed piece. Oh, that really hurts to get in. That really does not feel nice to get back in because of the spikes on his head. Yeah, I'm assuming that's it. Yeah, it is. He does have this nodding motion, though, for up and down, which is nice. It's making weird noises, and I hate it. Forward and back, outward, elbow, swivel, hand rotates, hand open and closes. It also has a bit of a wrist flex. Waist swivel, which is extremely loose because translucent plastic. It's very loose, which is not good. Forward and back, outward, a knee joint, a weird tilt right there, and a rotation. And that is his articulation. Pretty decent. For these guys all said and done. So let's get into Transform Megatron. It's a pretty simple affair. So the first thing you're going to do is come to the arms, make sure they're completely straightened out, flip in his fists like so, and then flip up the fusion cannon. Once you flip that around like so, the next thing you're going to do is come to the back here, and you're going to move this section forward. That'll then unlock the arms. And on the back of the shoulders here, there's these sections you can pull upward. Once you do that, you can take the arms, they unpeg, and they will peg together on the fusion cannon specifically. Once you do that, you pretty much are getting the tank turret formed. The next thing you're going to do is come to the back and pull out those bits. You can then take the back section here, and it has to go in this very specific way. It's very specific on how it goes in. Take that bit, fold it down first and foremost, and then peg it in. That pretty much eliminates all that clutter. And then you can push that in like so. Pretty much just push that in. And there we go. So that's the front section taken care of. So let's get to the back section of the thing. So for the back section of Megs here, the first thing you're going to do is come to the back of the leg and fold out these pieces. And these pieces here are just little tread parts that, well, they're going to be the tread. So you're going to take the leg here, you're going to fold it outward like that, and it's going to bend again. And I'm going to make sure... Oh, I forgot to rotate the waist. I'm an idiot. That's my bad. Oops. You got to rotate the waist first. And then you can take that and do that, and then it'll peg in. So just to point it out, there's a slot there, and it'll go in this peg here on the hip. So you're going to do that again. Just to get it from this angle, there's a joint there that moves. And you're then going to push it in like so, fold it up, and then peg it into place like that. And for the feet, you're going to fold in the heels like so, and fold the feet downward. Make sure everything ends up correctly. Now you're probably asking, that's not a very good tank turret, is it? And you'd be quite right, it's not, because, well, like I mentioned, this is the tank turret. You're going to split apart this, and then you're going to make sure you flip the barrel outward. You can then flip that, and then push it through the bottom, and then form that. And there is Megatron's Alt Mode, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Now to do Paleotrex. To transform Paleotrex, you don't. You don't. You rip him apart to transform him. He's a fossilizer, after all. So if you're expecting... The biggest part of transformation on this figure is rotating the head. And then putting the head scarily into there, like so. And that starts the transformation process. So the next thing you're going to do is remove his arm sections here. And the feet sections, you'll fold them like that. Do that again. Just like so. You're going to make sure everything lines up correctly. And this is going to end up pegging in there, like so. This is the first time I'm actually even going to see this mode, by the way. I've never actually transformed him yet. I just thought I'd point that out. That I have not transformed your boy here yet. Just because I kind of already know what it's going to look like. Finished. This is going to be purple Paleotrex. Peg in those bits. Nice and loosely. That was good. So you can then take these bits here and then rotate that like so. That will peg in right there. And then this section get it in there. There we go. It's kind of loose, but it's kind of not loose. It's really weird on how these legs are going. Then you're going to do the same thing again. Now, there's different ways you can obviously configure the legs. I think the preferred method, though, would be the one I just did there, if it'll peg on. This bit will peg on there instead. For this section here, you're just going to take it and it will peg in. There's some slots right there at the tip of my thumb. There's some pegs there. And that will peg on there fairly well. And now we get Flophosaurus Rex here, which is an issue with both of them, I should mention. It's because I have this on the other way. His legs are facing 2 different directions, which obviously is incorrect. And then you're going to take Paleotrex's tail, do that. Oh, God. I'm just going to do this bit off screen because it's really tight. I don't know why it's so tight, but it is. And peg his tail in. And there's the Flophosaurus Rex in his alternate form. And as far as the alt forms go for these two, one's certainly better than the other. I'll give it that. So we're going to take a look at Megatron. Actually, no, we're going to take a look at Paleotrex first. Paleotrex is Dino Bones. He looks fine. I could have threw Paleotrex in this review too, but it'd make it even longer, so that's unfortunate. His mouth opens, which is nice. He has ball joints on little arms, and all the legs have all the articulation all them joints would have. There's a lot of joints in there, so have fun. His tail can move and everything. It's just what you'd expect. It's Dino Bones, but purple. So if you own Paleotrex, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I didn't peg him in properly. I just noticed in the chest section, but that's fine. I was wondering, there's like little pegs right there. You can't even see them. Turn it like that, you can. See, it's kind of glaring there. They peg into the rib cage. It's fine. I'm not bothering too much because, like I said, I didn't really want Skeletor here. I didn't really want him. But there he is. He's nice. He looks good. Gotta put him off to the side now. Talk about the main event. Megatron, whose tank mode is great. Yeah, this is a great tank mode. It rotates and everything. Oh, and it has nicely painted stuff. It has headlights. It's nicely silver. It's beautiful comparatively. The only issue is, yeah, the chest is facing down. I don't think it touches the ground, though, which is good. I mean, it just is good. The tank mode looks good. It rotates, like I said. Like, the barrel has paint. I love all of this. This thing just looks great. This whole set is just good enough, huh? I really just did it for Megatron. Like I said, I don't care about everything else. I just wanted Megatron. And fun fact, this was the cheapest one. You can get Siege Megatron, who has a worse paint scheme, for like $150. Or I could get this guy and another thing I didn't want for $103 and justify the price. Yay. Let's just get to my thoughts on these two. So, my thoughts on these two is, yeah, they're fine enough. Well, one of them's fine enough. The other one is damn near fantastic. And the one who's fine enough, I bet you couldn't guess, is Skeletor or Skelivore. God, I hate that name. it's just not good. And I didn't show the combination because there's no point if it's just kind of a thing they haphazardly threw in. Like I mentioned, I'm not sure. My mind shot or something in some points here because I'm like, oh yeah, I mentioned that. But I kind of was like reciting this to myself in the shower before I did this review. So there's that. And this guy was, I'm pretty sure, made just as a reference to Skeletor because the Masters of the Universe Netflix series came out after Kingdom. So that's what I'm thinking it was, because like I mentioned, the spoiler isn't Megatron with the Matrix. I'm pretty sure that happened at Earthrise. So it had to be that, right? That it came at Skeletor. Or his haphazard name that really sucks. If you don't know what I'm referencing, it's good. You don't want to know why I'm referencing his name being kind of bad. You don't want to be corrupted by that. If you do, I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, Mr. Skelivore he's fine enough. I like him. And there's a reason I'm putting him back into his robot mode first. It's because I want to talk more about Megatron and Skelivore. And I mean, he's a good enough figure. Like I said, he's cool, but he's a novelty. He's nothing more than a novelty, and if you didn't want him, you didn't want him. And I don't want him. I'm keeping him, but I don't want him. He's probably just going to go on the shelf. If that, he's getting thrown in a box somewhere. I think he's going to go on the shelf, though, because I do like the way he looks. He does look cool. But now, on to the main reason I even bought the set. Oh, I waited years for a Megatron. Years and years. The last Megatron I bought myself was that one Generations one with a stupid flailing scythe arm. If you know what I'm talking about, you probably had one too. It usually came in a duo pack with an Optimus that was a spinning top. It was a spin top. I don't know why it spun, but it spun. I glued mine and it's crooked now. But as far as this Megatron goes, it's everything I wanted him to be. There's nothing that this figure isn't to me. He's literally everything I ever wanted from a Megatron. He just is. He's perfect to me. He is perfect. I have zero complaints about this Megatron. The articulation being, you know, kind of iffy, I guess, maybe, but even the articulation's not bad. It's not a bad articulated, it's not a poorly articulated figure or anything. It is a good figure with, you know, your average articulation. What do you want me to say? It's not like Megatron is going to have gimmicks. He looks like Megatron. He turns into what Megatron turns into now, which is a tank, because Megatron doesn't really turn into, you know, he doesn't really turn into a gun anymore, because it's kind of a frowned upon thing now, so they can't really do that anymore. So it's not like anything's negative here for me to say about Megs, except he's great. The one complaint I have is the crotch, and that's because of that weird splat paint. But other than that, this thing's perfect to me. It's a 5 out of 5. It's exactly what I wanted. And he didn't let me down. I got him out of the box immediately and started fiddling with him because I just really wanted Megatron. That's what I wanted. I didn't want Skelivore. I wanted Megatron. And he was, to me, the main selling point. And it was the easiest way to get him. And I don't regret it. I don't regret spending the money. Much like how I didn't regret spending the money on a certain other commander of another faction. And I've waited years. Years to have this in front of me. This in front of me. Optimus and Megatron. In front of me. The G1 versions of them right here in front of me. It's been years in the making, and I couldn't be happier. And in my opinion, these figures are both 5 out of 5s. You know that. In my opinion, yeah, 5 out of 5. This guy's actually way heavier than he is. He's like super light compared to this guy's heavy. Like, he's hefty. But man, does it feel good to have these two. So that has been my review of the Kingdom spoiler pack from Netflix's Kingdom. This has been Eilt, Elite, signing out.